attention to that man behind the
You a
curtain.
mad scientist behind them tables, man.
Bro puts stories in his mixes, bro.
The wizard, the wonderful wizard of law. See the wizard, the wonderful wizard of law. Wonderful wizard of law. See the wizard, the wonderful wizard of law.
Pay no attention to that man behind
You
the
a
curtain.
mad scientist behind them tables,
Bro
man.
puts stories in his mixes, bro.
Chit. What's up, motherfuckers? Oh, let me get my shit set here. Why's that got me on the? Why is it not switching layouts? Oh well, it don't matter. All right. Well, I'll give our faithful followers a second here to get the notification, since I quite unusually started on time. And then we'll get down to business. Hope everybody had a good weekend. Mine was busy as fuck. We had, I did the wedding expos yesterday. Then Jen and I did 2 guest appearances on 2 channels, on Skeptic Haven, and then on Maya's channel, and DJ a little more. So I was cooked yesterday. What's up, Jenna, Sandy, Jason? What's up, everybody, so far? I know, like I said, I started on time, so I'm gonna delay a little bit here. That way all the motherfuckers can join us. Well, I guess I could start, kind of give you an idea what what's going to be talked about tonight. Well, just kind of from a top level point of view, I've invited Brandon and Travis. So Travis is backstage. Travis, I don't know if you can see the private chat or not, but I put in there. I was going to start the stream and do the introduction. Do my normal intro, then I'll bring you on here in a minute. So appreciate your patience. So I'll start with Brandon, because it's highly unlikely that he shows up. So I've known Brandon personally since I was about 21, 22, maybe a little older than that, but right around there. I met him when I was still a believer and I was a Christian rapper. He was in a 2-person hip hop group called Word Life, I want to say it was. anyway, that's how I met Brandon. And yeah, Brandon. Brandon's one of those I thought. I always thought he was a good dude until I wasn't a believer anymore, and then like everything changed. Like the way he talked to me changed. The way like everything fucking changed. And now he went from being what I thought was one of the more reasonable Christians to now he's one of those far right Donald Trump circle jerk assholes that Trump does no wrong, and who cares that he wants to grab women by their pussies and shit, right? He's turned into one of them. And now is always the victim. And I post one thing that may or may not be religious in its context. It may not even have anything to do with religion, but if he thinks it does, he's got a comment on it. And then finally, when I called him out on his shit, and it was, well, the only time I make comments on your shit is when you say something about God or Jesus or Christianity. Well, dude, you post your Christian nonsense on the daily, bro. That might be a little bit exaggeration, but close. I don't ever comment on your shit. I don't give a fuck. But then when you come on mine and you want to preach and be an asshole, yeah, I'm done with that bullshit, man. Fucking done with it. If I wanted you to preach to me or pray for me, I would ask for it. And I probably wouldn't even come to you. I have a whole fucking family of pastors and ministers and youth pastors and prophets and all that shit. I don't even need to go outside the family if I really needed that. And then so Travis, like I said, Travis is backstage. I'll bring him on here in a minute. We're getting close. Like I said, I was giving him a few more minutes than normal before I really dig in anything because y'all ain't used to me starting on time. So I think I've known Travis for a year-ish, right around there. I met him through Chris. Y'all know Chris. He's been on here and DJ'd with me. And you've seen me DJ with him when I went live. I met him through through Chris. We worked a handful of events together, weddings, whatnot. And then yeah, so on Facebook, what that would have been like a month ago now, whatever it was. Because when I made the original post, yeah, I think it was like 11 days, 10, 11, 12 days, something like that, that I didn't touch. So other than being on YouTube, I didn't touch any social media. And I get on there and I get this long post about God and I'm paraphrasing, but God and how I need God. And because I'm not one of the however many thousand people that didn't die yesterday or today or that day, there must be a divine plan on why I'm still here. Again, when he's on, if he wants to correct anything that I said, he can. And I snapped back because I did not ask for advice. So my original post was about my current situation with my kids and the mother of my kids, and just that it's some days it's brutal not being able to see. As you guys know, we've talked about it. I've seen my youngest two kids 2 times in the last almost year and a half now, and it's bullshit, right? I wasn't saying. Never one time did I ask for any life advice, God advice, religious. I got this like fucking book, and then I snapped, but my first response was more like, "Look, dude, this ain't the time and the place for it." And the last line was, "I highly recommend you just walk away from this particular conversation right now." When then doing the, in my opinion, the typical Christian response Oh, well, I'll be praying for you. I'll be praying for you. Did you not just read? Did you not just read what I posted? So then I snapped back. At that point, you have you've sealed your motive. You're trying to make a point. I asked you not to. I asked you not to. I gave you the warning. And anybody that knows me, I'll always give one warning shot. And after that, if you can't respect the boundaries, you can't respect the lines, you will get the smoke. And I was talking to Jenna about this, well, earlier today. My mom's passed now, but if she were here, she was one of the biggest Bible thumping, spiritual, charismatic, people that I've ever known. I cut her off. I cut my own mom off, and she got the smoke. Why? Because I set boundaries and I set parameters with her. It's like these are the things that I don't want to hear. I don't need to hear, and I'm not coming to you and like questioning. Not question. That's not even the right word. I'm not trying to give you life advice based on my non-belief. And the only time I give advice is when asked. So that's kind of the parameters or whatever that we're working on or working with. So now we got a little bit of a backstory there. Again, I know I'm gonna we're gonna do our normal party starter drink break thing here, and then we'll bring Travis on. But we can't officially start the stream until we have a drink break. So bottoms up, cheers, motherfuckers.
1, 2, it goes 1, 2, 3. Get fucked up. 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 Get fucked up.
Oh, hold on. He walked away. So as soon as he comes, as soon as I see him back, he's still there, but he walked away from his camera for a minute. As soon as he comes back, oh, there he is.
What up?
All right. You there,
How
Travis?
you doing, bud?
Can you hear me?
Yes, sir. Can you hear me?
Yep, loud and clear. So, did you hear my lead in?
Absolutely. I appreciate that.
Okay. So, first of all, if there's any corrections or anything that to what I said you want to make, feel free to do that first.
Yes, I interjected unsolicited opinions. Absolutely. I want to start by apologizing for doing that because it was not helpful, as we've now learned in the hindsight after going through this experience. So that's definitely not the approach that I want. And I've learned that when I type things on Facebook, sometimes they're not always perceived as I'd like them to be received. So I appreciate you getting me on. This is a very sweet situation of the podcast. So glad to be here.
No, it's no problem. So, I'm going to start with first saying that I will what's the word I want here? At least momentarily accept your apology, because I have questions, because I want to know if it's genuine or if it's bullshit, right? So you say you've learned, you type shit on Facebook, and the other thing anybody knows about me, like there's one thing like friendly banter and stuff, whether it's in text or social media, whatnot, like friendly banter, whatever, talk your shit. What we're talking about right now is a whole nother ballgame, right? So you said you learned something. What the fuck did you learn? Through
Well, here's the first thing is I have no idea what you believe. I made some assumptions about what you believe, and I made some assertions, right? And I have literally no idea. You and I have had great conversations before about other things. We talked about rap music, and I actually feel like after we talked about rap music, you kind of put me in my place, right? So in this particular situation, you know, I saw the post obviously, and my first instinct is to interject and to bring my point of view, which obviously in this particular case was not welcomed. And I'm a new Christian. You know, we haven't talked a lot about my whole story, the backstory either. And so that's probably the first point where we got to start is, you know, I know you were mentioning this. You've been through the church, right? So it sounds like you have a little bit of history uh being involved in church.
For for a day or two, for 30 plus years. Yeah, I was a believer, was involved in the ministry, took some Bible classes. Yeah, um, yeah, I'm familiar,
Yeah.
to say the least. Based on what you just said, so you brought up our conversation about hip hop. So because to me, a lot of these things, Travis, they intermingle, right? There's a lot of joining factors here, or um, they 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 may relate, and we'll know more as we go through here and ask questions. But with in that conversation when you're in your truck, we we were talking about hip hop. You and I still remember you specifically referred to we were talking about listeners of hip hop, but I think we both know what was being said. You referred to them as hood rats, and I very quickly corrected you. And yes, I did inform you on how racist that sounded and how fucked up that sounded. Uh, so before we even dig in, do you even know what a hood rat is?
I did not know when I used that phrase what I was saying. And obviously, when I got home and I Googled it and I realized, yeah, it's definitely not a good thing to say, right? So, um, yeah, you provided some education to me because I think I remember saying this is the type of hip hop that I listened to was what I consider uh, ghetto hip hop, right? I think I use those exact phrases too, right? And you know, what I listen to as far as hip hop and what you listen to, I have no idea the differences between them, but you know what I listen to, right? We talked about it. It's not good hip hop. It's got bad messages in it, right? So that was that conversation.
Right. So based on that, and if we need to, there's a third thing we can go into, but just based on the Facebook conversation, that conversation in the car, just things that I've heard you say or demonstrate uh, to me or around me. Um, I don't know where you're framing or getting your ideas from, and maybe you can tell me that. But um, they are. I almost said borderline, but they're not borderline. They are, especially if you're talking to certain people. These are hurtful, damaging, fucked up things to say, especially say out loud, but to even um, to get to the point that you actually communicate them is troublesome to me. It's problematic because if you have it in you to actually vocalize those things or type those things out, it makes me wonder what other fucked up ideas or opinions that you have. And I think, especially with you and I, you've given me two very good reasons to question whether it's uh, integrity, character, you whatever. Why why should I think different at this point?
Yeah. So, I mean, obviously, I'm flawed. I can 100% acknowledge the fact that I'm pretty fucked up. And in the process of discovering where this comes from, right? Uh, what does the hurt inner child in Travis do? The hurt inner child lashes out. He says things that create controversy. There's a lot of actions that stem from that. And to be honest with you, I've said shit out of my mouth that obviously I wish I wouldn't have said. And it's not because I wasn't thinking in the time when I said it, right? So you called me out, and one of the things, and I talk about this, you can go and look on my social medias. I have other people that are in my life that call me out, and there's not a day that goes by. I mean, you can go on my Facebook. I started a fight with somebody today about something. There's not a day that goes by that I'm not involved in this confrontation with somebody else.
Why
And
why is it? Because that tells me something else, right? So that there's a habit here, and the inner child thing is, as much as there is a level of validity to that, it's not an excuse for habitual stupidity or habitual hurting of others, or habitual just stirring the pot and causing drama, right? So even though it may be valid, it's not, just because it's valid doesn't therefore make it a good excuse.
right. Well, the fun thing is that today, the reason why we're talking, right, is because I brought up religion. And you don't know this about me, but for the last 20 years, I really haven't had any religion. I've been a pretty big piece of shit. We could talk about the fact that I was using drugs, that I was drinking, the fact that I was not treating my wife properly, I haven't treated my kids properly. I could give you a long list of all the shit that I've done. And to be honest with you, the people that know me know that I'm a big piece of shit. And so, it's kind of interesting because often I think one of the things that Christians do is they go tell other people how to live their life. And then when the mirror reflects back on them and somebody says, well, you're not living your life the way that you're telling people that you are. So I go to church every Sunday, and at church every Sunday, it's hard to square being a piece of shit with going to church every Sunday. I imagine you'd agree with that.
Oh, emphatically. I know. I know that I can say there's a good majority of, not all, a good majority of Christians or religious people that I know, that I would hands down consider myself to be a better overall person, with higher character, higher integrity, with an intolerance for bigotry, for hate, for abuse, and will voice it quickly, where most Christians that I know will turn a blind eye to it, or give a Christian rationale or a Christian apologetic argument for why it's okay. And I think one of the number one things Christians have to stop doing is we're all flawed. So please pardon my fuckery. No,
It's not a good excuse. It's not it really doesn't justify it, because one of the things, I have wrote down on my thing, and I just talked about this last week, was love. If you love somebody unconditionally, you don't get to talk shit about them and be like, well, it's in the name of God, right?
What, but that's the problem with religion, period. Whether it's you're a Christian, a Muslim, whatever, is there, instead of just taking responsibility, just head-on responsibility, there always has to be, well, I'm a work in progress, and God is working on me. And how about you just fucking fix it?
Mm-hmm. I could definitely agree with that. I mean, you don't see this, but behind the scenes, I'm working on me. you know, you and I, when we met, I was a drug addict. I was an alcoholic, right? So you know the drug user, Travis, right?
Okay, and okay, and you're telling me that, and that's okay, and I'll accept that. I don't know to what extent you were or were not, and really to me that's irrelevant. And I say that as a former addict, because even in the throes of my addiction, I wasn't I didn't go out of my way to do this, and I did not make a habit out of doing or saying that. Even like I said, even at the worst of my addictions, never acted like that. Never, you know, was never habitually finding myself in a place where I'm either hurting people, pissing people off, or just causing unneeded drama or bullshit.
Right. Well, I mean, so what I guess my point here is that I am constantly in a state of change, and what you were talking about is if people are on bullshit, they need to change, and I've acknowledged that I need to change, and I'm changing every day.
So
And
what do you? Because it's like that's again, those are words to me, right? Those are just words. So tell me what you're doing, Travis. What are you doing to change?
yes, so,
Are
yeah.
you seeing a therapist? Are you talking to professionals? Like what are you doing?
Well, it starts with quitting alcohol and drugs. I mean, you can't, I'm an addict, right? And so I'm addicted to alcohol. I'm addicted to marijuana was the drug of choice for me. And so I've made the decision to not use alcohol and drugs anymore.
So an alcohol addiction, I can get like there are no addictive properties in marijuana. So that's
I'm addicted to marijuana. I want to smoke weed. I haven't smoked weed in like a month and a half, and I every minute of every day I want to smoke weed. Like I want to smoke weed right now. You have no idea how difficult it is for me to resist the urge to want to smoke pot constantly.
well, you can have a compulsion or an urge, but there's like chemically speaking, like they're like cocaine, meth, heroin. Those have addictive properties, right? Addictive properties. What you're talking about is a mental thing, right? Where it's your
I'm addicted. I'm addicted, and I've been living a life where I've been lying to people because I've been going to church and pretending that my life was together when obviously my life wasn't together. Because, you know, I would tell you this: nobody's going to church smoking weed, right? It's not going to look very good if I'm up on the stage smoking pot at church. It's not gonna square well with that Christian that I'm trying to be, right?
Oh, bro, you know how many Christians I know that smoke weed and go to church every Sunday? Like you're out of your damn mind. Yeah.
Well, here's the deal: is that, and why we're talking about this is we're talking about God today, right? And this is why we're having a conversation is because
we're gonna get there. We have to peel the layers of the onion back, right?
Yeah. Well, here's the real core of this, right? Is if there is no God, none of this shit matters. None of the morality stuff matters.
What?
If there's no God, nothing that you're bringing up matters at all.
Why would you ever say that?
Okay, well, here's the deal. Do you think it's all right to kill people?
Obviously not.
Okay, well, if there's no God, I can just kill people.
How does that logically follow? That's the most illogical thing I've ever heard.
Right. So if there's no God, how is there good and evil?
Say it again.
If there's no God, there's no such thing as good and evil.
Well, correct me if I'm wrong. You're already creating that framework from a religious mindset, right? Because no, I don't think I don't think evil exists the way Christians would define it, or the way a Christian would position evil. I don't, because they have supernatural and spiritual ties to that word evil, right? right? Do I think
Something is tempting me to want to use drugs.
your brain?
Oh, yeah. To me, I frame it as that's the devil tempting me.
Right.
Right.
So, okay, pause right there. That's the problem with religion. It's not a supernatural thing. It's not a ghost. It's not a god. It's your brain. It's your chemical makeup in your brain, the way you're wired. So what your job is to do, if you want to be a good person, is go seek professional help. Talk to a therapist, talk to a psychiatrist, talk to an addiction counselor. Do that. But the God thing isn't going to fix it, bro.
So how many people would you guess that have been, quote, saved by God in their addiction problem?
What do you mean?
Let's just say 1 million people stopped using drugs because they believed that there was a God, and the God was the reason that they stopped using drugs. Is that outcome? Is that something that we should just dismiss because it's just in their brain?
Well, no. Again, the problem with your logic or your rationale there is just because someone says that they've prayed and they did it in the name of or by the means of a god or a supernatural, that doesn't mean therefore that thing exists, right? That does not demonstrate anything other than the word God came out of your mouth. And
Right.
unfortunately, I know too many people that say, well, God did this for me, or God, I prayed and God. No, actually, that person did the hard work. They did the hard work, but they've been told that it was God through them or God in them that did it. But nobody can demonstrate that. Nobody can show that to be true, Travis. Not a single person on this planet.
Well, here's the reality of my situation is I'm actually thinking that I'm cool with that drug and alcohol addiction. To be honest with you, is I might as well just drink every day, and I might as well smoke every day, and I might as well do drugs every day. I mean, you already talked about this. Marijuana is not really a drug, so I might as well just smoke pot.
Okay, well, don't put words on my mouth. I didn't say it wasn't a drug. What I said is it does not have addictive properties. That's what I said. And do I smoke weed? No, I don't, because it has a reverse effect on me than it does most people. I turn into like a paranoid crackhead, and you're going to find me crawled up in the corner. I get super paranoid. So it's just not my thing, right? But I could tell you right now, I drink just about every day. Now I don't get shit faced, but I have drinks every day. I'm still a good dude, Travis. I'm still a good dude. I still make the best choices possible. And if anything, I go out of my way to not just defend myself, but defend other people, the people I love, the people I care about, people that are in marginalized groups, all of those things. I go and a lot of times go out of my way to do it. So, and guess what? I don't need a God or a book or a religion to tell me to do those things.
Well, I'm a piece of shit.
Well, but according to you, we're all pieces of shit as a Christian.
That's not exactly the scenario. And
I know the Bible, Travis. The
Right.
Bible says we are all fucked up, right? And that's the problem with that book.
It gives me a lot of comfort to know that everybody else is fucked up too.
We all have flaws, absolutely.
Right.
But that doesn't mean we can't get better minus the God. That doesn't mean we can't do better minus the God.
But what's the point, dude? What's the point? Like, I don't see the point of getting better if there's no God. Like, I just drink every day. Like, seriously, there's no point. And like killing people, we talked about this, dude. I could probably get away with it. So why shouldn't I just kill people? Why? I don't like people. Why shouldn't I just go kill them?
On that one, you're gonna have to walk me through your logical steps there, because I don't know how we go from there is no God to go on a murder spree. I don't know how you get there.
What's stopping you, right? Is it just that I have
Because
morality?
because I have a genuine care and empathy and sympathy for other humans.
Let's talk about that. That sounds like love.
Sure.
You love other people.
Sure.
That's not very scientific.
Why?
If we all started an cordial pool of mud and a couple cells rubbed together, what is the point of love?
Again, I don't know. I don't know where you're going with
All
that.
right, well,
What is the point in love? Whether you want to use the word love or again empathy or sympathy or just caring about the well-being of the person next to you on either
why?
side of you in
Why?
front.
For what purpose? It doesn't serve any survival purpose.
Because I care.
Why would you care, dude? There's no God.
Because I do. Because I know what it feels like when I get hurt, whether it's physically, emotionally, mentally. I know what that feels like. So again,
I was
I'm empathetic.
I was
I'm
hurt
empathetic,
a lot,
right
and I
now.
was not demonstrated love when I was a kid.
And I got the shit beat out of me. But I don't let that be a reason why I now mistreat people.
And so here's the deal: is that if we don't have love, then we might as well just do all the bad stuff, right?
No, that doesn't logically follow, Travis. That's what I'm saying. This is terrible logic. So I'm I'm going to need you. Well, so let's rewind, because I think before we even get to morality and all that, because that's the deeper end of this pool. Before we even get there, I probably need to know first how in the world you came to think that God is real or God does exist. Like how did you? Because you told me before you just recently became a believer and a Christian. So to maybe help me get further, or sorry, more easily get through some of this conversation, I think we need to start there. That way I know your rationale and your logic there. So what convinced you that this God exists and he's active in your life?
Well, do you have faith?
No.
You have faith that there's not a God, though.
No. That doesn't require faith.
So is there a God?
I don't believe there's one. I don't think there's one.
But did you just told me that? Okay, so you have to have faith to believe that.
That's not, no. That's I'm not because I'm not making a truth claim. So again, so I know the book, Travis. So you're not going to pull one over on me, right? So we can talk about faith in the dictionary definition, or we can talk faith in the biblical definition. Can you quote me the scripture in the Bible that gives the definition of faith?
Here's the fun fact: I don't even read the Bible.
Okay, so see, that's what I'm saying. So before we get to morality and all that, and you want to take God as your backdrop in this, if you don't even know the text, right? If you don't know the information at hand, you are, first of all, you're doing yourself a major disservice, because your book, according to the religion, the God you're believing in, it says that you have to be ready. You have to be ready at all times to know that and to defend your faith, right? So you can't even do that right now, because I could tell you as a non-believer that hasn't picked up a Bible other than to fact check people like we're doing right now. Hebrews 11:1 says, faith is the substance of things hoped for, the evidence of things not seen. That verse in and of itself is fucked. So let's break that down when you're talking about faith. Faith is the evidence, okay, of things hoped for. And the faith is no, I just fucked myself up. Faith is the substance of things hoped for, the evidence of things not seen. How is hope evidence for things that are unseen?
So, will my beliefs change the facts?
No. Oh my God. Did you please repeat back what you just said?
Will my beliefs change the facts?
You're absolutely incorrect. Your belief does not change facts.
Okay, so what are the facts?
About what?
Well, you brought up the Bible. So what is it about the Bible that you have the biggest problem with? Because I got mine. I'm going to pull it out right now. And it says in the very beginning, I'm going to read it because I don't read this book very much. And so You are the biblical scholar here. You know the Bible better than I do. But it says, in the beginning, God created the heavens and earth. Do you disagree with that?
Absolutely.
Who created it?
I have no idea. And I think here's one thing. And I actually piss off. I piss off a lot of both believers and non-believers when I say this. I think it is completely arrogant and almost irresponsible for you as a believer or me as a non-believer or whatever side you fall on, for any of us to think that we actually know, because none of us were there.
So what do you believe?
I have no idea.
You
And
don't know what you believe. You're going to try to convince
no,
me that God
hold on,
doesn't
no,
exist,
hold
but
on.
you don't know
No,
what you
again,
believe.
do not put words in my mouth, Travis. Don't
Well,
fucking
what
do
do you
that.
believe?
Don't fucking do that. You didn't let me finish. If you let me finish, you wouldn't have had to ask that question. When I say I don't know, I'm speaking about origins of life. And I don't know, when I wasn't there, I was never there for it. I don't know is the most intellectually honest answer that anyone can give. And to posit something when you don't have the firsthand information or you don't have direct evidence of it is ignorant and stupid.
What survival function does love provide for you?
Okay, you keep getting away. I still want to know why you're convinced that God is real, because if we can't get past that, none of this other stuff matters.
In the beginning, God created.
Okay,
We disagree
so
about
God,
that.
okay, that doesn't tell me how you know God exists, because I mean the Quran says the same thing. Are you going to be a Muslim?
Well, that's another great discussion for us to have, because no matter what religion we bring, we'll all have a bias agenda. I think we can both recognize that we both have a bias in this conversation.
Oh, I'm not biased. If you can provide me evidence that God exists, I will believe right now. I spent 30 plus years of my life believing, and it was my own research and doing the hard work that quite honestly, you just admitted you're not doing. I've read that book front to back. I've done the research. That's the reason I don't believe anymore.
This is the best part.
So Travis, this is the part on the Facebook post that I'm just going to come back and highlight this. You started out this conversation in a and that's why I said I'm going to tentatively take your apology, and we're going to find out if it's bullshit or not, because you quickly went from trying to hold a position of humility and understanding and wanting to learn to you've now become it's like you have it all figured out, and you have all the answers. And just because I don't believe in a God, that somehow
you're not absolutely sure there is no God.
What did I say? Three or four times now.
You said that if I could prove it to you, that you'd believe.
Absolutely.
Okay. I will never be able to prove to you that God exists from the Bible, because if you literally read the Bible, like they're talking about people being 700 years old. Do you believe in giants?
I believe in the San Francisco Giants.
Do you believe in aliens?
What again? I still don't know how you know God's real. Like all of this is nonsense, Travis.
Here's the thing. You're never going to convince somebody that knows who God is that he's not real. No matter what you say, you could beat me in the head with the Bible every day, and I will still believe in God.
You're absolutely wrong. You're talking to somebody right now that spent majority of my life believing. So you have church hurt.
You have church hurt, and I have church hurt too. It's a real thing.
Hold on. Stop. Mm-hmm. First of all, again, and this is why now I'm going to decline your apology, because now you're doing the same shit you did in the Facebook post. And
I love you.
You see, don't do that. Don't do that, Travis. You are literally repeating the same behavior, but now on YouTube for everybody to see and hear. Because you just said earlier, I made the mistake of assuming something and asserting something. Now you're doing the same thing again right here live on YouTube. So
But here's
again,
the
my
beautiful
question goes
thing.
back, is how many times are you going to say stupid shit before you realize I should probably not say stupid shit?
The fact that you showed up was the answer to my prayer.
Oh, Travis, of course I was going to show up. That was not an answer of prayer. Anybody that's saying dumb shit and wants to show up, that you want to show up and demonstrate that you want to keep saying dumb shit, that's not an answer to prayer. That's just you being consistent in your stupidity.
Here's the thing. You said yes to this, and I
No,
have been
you did.
praying
You did.
for an opportunity to have a conversation with you.
Oh my God.
And I wanted to kind of unpack the situation because you're not absolutely sure that there's no God. You are willing to entertain me. I think that you want to convince me there's not a God.
No, I'm not here for that, Travis. You see, you're and that shows me you're not paying attention to anything that I'm saying. And this is the difference between somebody that actually wants to learn and do better and be better. Is you come into a conversation seeking to understand. So that's why even when you said I apologize, I said attentively I will accept it because I want to hear you out. Right? I want to see if this is genuine. I'm genuinely listening, seeking to try to understand where it is you're coming from. What you're doing now is essentially doubling down on the stupidity that you put on Facebook. And that's not a me problem, bro. And you can tell me all day that this is what you want to, that you've been praying for. Well, guess what? You can go check my prior streams on here. I beg, and I want people that say stupid shit to come talk to me so that other people can see this is where religion gets you. You say and do stupid shit, right?
Well,
So
do you think that logic, evidence, and science is going to convince somebody otherwise?
What'd you say?
What do you believe that logic, evidence, and science is going to convince somebody of the other side?
I'm not here to convince you of anything, Travis. See, that's what I'm saying. You came into it with that mindset. I did not. I came in this.
You're open to the possibility of God.
If you can provide evidence, here's the thing.
What would he have to do?
Hold on. Let me finish. I want to know more true things than not, and I don't care what that is, whether it's religion or whatever. I want to know that it's true. Okay. Just like with the God thing, you're saying that you know it's true, but you can't demonstrate it. You can't prove it. So to me, that's completely irrational. And to me, it's reckless just to accept something because a book or someone told you that it's true.
I'm pretty skeptical of stuff. I don't know if you know me very well, but I'm an engineer by trade. I'm going to tell you right now, here's the thing about me, dude. I literally thought that this whole church thing was complete bullshit.
It is.
I actually am. I was you. Okay. I was you. And I actually had a lot, dude. You know this about me. I'm pretty materialistic. I had money and I still have money. Right. And you know that all I care about is money. Right. And that's not very Christian because all I care about is money. And I've always had all this money in my life. And guess what? It didn't bring me any happiness. You know why it didn't bring me happiness? You know the answer to this, because I'm a piece of shit, right? Correct.
Okay. So, I mean, you keep saying that. I don't know why you keep referring back to that. I'm still trying to figure out now because do you
acknowledge I'm a piece of shit?
Well, like I said earlier, you said, well, if you're a Christian, then you believe all of us are a piece of shit. So it doesn't matter whether I agree or not. Now,
well, like, does Hitler go to heaven?
According to the Bible, yeah.
See, that's a crazy thing, isn't it? All he has to do is ask for forgiveness before he's dead, and then Hitler goes to heaven.
That's very flawed. That's very flawed rationale. and
that's what the Christian believes.
I know, and you consider yourself to be one.
Here's why. You know why? It's because I had a very cold heart, and I still kind of do. I mean, I think you've figured this out, that I was not demonstrated love in my life. love has been absent from my life for a very long time. And the people that do attempt to love me, I push them away pretty quickly because I don't want them to get close to me because I have this terrible personality and I don't want people to know who I really am.
All right, so you keep asking me, do I think you're a piece of shit? What I'll tell you what I think. I think you're somebody that wants to hide behind a lot of fucking excuses instead of addressing the issues that are at hand. Because I've noticed I've asked you 3 times now if you've reached out to a therapist, a professional psychiatrist, anything because again, you can have a fucked up childhood just like I did, and do something about it and help to minimize. You're never going to completely do away with it, but to help to minimize and find better practices, better things to do to counteract those bad experiences. But if all you're going to do is fucking say, well, God's got me, bro, I can tell you right now, as soon as your God high comes down, because this is what most addicts do, if you're truly an addict, they run to God. And once that God high wears off, guess what? You're still going to be, to use your words, you're going to be the same piece of shit doing the same shit and still getting the stupid fucking results, right? And one of my favorite phrases, you play stupid games, you get stupid prizes, right? So right now, to me, you're playing games because you're not actually addressing the problem. If you actually want to do better, talk to a professional.
Yeah, but see, I did. I talked to a professional, right? And he told me that I needed to be in touch with my emotions. But the reality of it is I really don't have a lot of those. I don't really acknowledge a lot of them. All I really do is I get angry and I pound the table and I become an asshole. And the thing about it is that I've learned, and this is what I said to you, dude. It doesn't really matter if I believe the Christian God or the Muslim God or the Hindu God. It doesn't really matter what I believe in terms of a religion. I believe that there's a higher power that's created us. And that higher power, whatever you call him, happens to bring people into my life at various times, which you can call a coincidence. And those people that have been brought into my life that have demonstrated unconditional love to me have helped me warm my heart up and open myself up and be willing to consider changing. But there's still a part of me that asks myself, why should I change? There's no God. If under your theory, it doesn't matter what I do because after I'm dead, there'll be no consequences.
Okay. You said a lot, and I don't know what the point was. Can you make a direct point for me?
Yeah, it's very simple. You either believe that there's a God, and after you're dead, there's going to be consequences for the actions on this earth, or we're just here and you can do whatever you want to, and then it's over. Those are the 2 options.
Okay, no. So here's what you can do, Travis. You're welcome in this lifetime to do whatever you want to do. Absolutely do it. But while you're here, there are consequences. There are consequences
If you get caught.
Right. But guess what? When you get in the throes of addiction and you have that mentality that you're talking about, where it's like fuck it all, you end up doing stupid shit that you get caught up with, and you end up going to jail and to prison, right? Because you become so selfish and so self-absorbed that you forget that there's consequences, right? So there are consequences here.
If you get caught. There's no consequences for Donald Trump. He can just do and say whatever he wants to, and there's no consequences.
It's right. So now we're talking about that brings in money and greed and politics and all that. And unfortunately, in the world we live in,
Right-wing Christian evangelism, we can add that in there.
But money buys you a lot of shit. Right. But that's not what we're talking about, Travis, because you and I don't have Trump money. We're not talking about that shit.
So, I kind of think about this a lot because he's got a lot of support from people that use the Bible. And here's the deal. I think you and I both know that ain't right. We actually, we have a friend that believes certain things. He believes that when you go to church, you should be dressed in your finest, and he believes that you shouldn't cheat on your wife, right? These are a couple of the things that he believes. Those are probably good things to believe, right? You probably shouldn't cheat on your wife.
Are you talking? Hold on. We went from Trump. What are we talking about now?
Well, Trump cheats on his wife, right? That's probably not ideal. He's
Okay,
not
so
the moral high ground.
you're making parallels to the scripture, right? I'm trying
Yeah,
to follow. I'm having trouble tracking you. So
Yeah. Well, see, the thing about it is that if there's no God, then why should I be faithful to my wife?
that's between you and her.
Mm.
That's a you and her that's a you and her conversation. And again, if let me ask you, do you love your wife?
I think I love my wife.
You think so? That's problem one. That's problem number one. From there, again, you need to talk to a professional, bro. If you're
What is love?
if you're married, do you care about her?
In my mind, I think I care, but I only care about it because there's this moral compass that's behind me that's saying you should care about other people, right?
So, Travis, let's just cut to the chase here. I think you're trying to find. You're doing one or two. Well, there's two or three things that might be going on here. Either you're trying to find every excuse to be impossible, or you're trying to find every excuse just to be an asshole, or you're trying to find an excuse just to say it doesn't matter to me what anyone thinks, because I just want to do what Travis wants to do, which points to a lot of other problems outside of this conversation, bro.
What if God is love?
No, see, this one's you're not. Why do you not address my questions?
Well, here's the situation that I'm trying to figure this out, and you're seeing me trying to figure out in real time, is that I'm trying to understand, where does love come from?
I don't know why that.
I don't even know what love is.
What do you mean?
What is love? What is love?
So are you telling me right now there's nobody in your life that you have a genuine care for, empathy for, sympathy for?
I just want you to tell me what you think love is.
I've already described it to you. It is to me, love encompasses all of those things that I just said. That I care, that I have sympathy, that I have empathy. I care about people's well-beings. I want them to be healthy and to not be hurt. I don't want them to experience pain as much as that it's possible for them to not feel pain, right? Whether that be physically, mentally, emotionally. And so whether you want to use the word love as I think you're trying to use it, I think that's the umbrella term in this context for what I've already said 5 or 6 times now.
Why do we do that?
Because it's been part of our process as a species, that as we've evolved or expanded, whatever you want to call it, that we continue to get better, hopefully, at doing that. Now, some people have gotten worse. Don't get me wrong. Some people have gotten worse, but we've come a long way as a species, as humans, of taking better care of each other, being more in tune to what is healthy and what is the best thing for life, right? And that we that we as a species continue to get better and continue to improve, because Travis, if everybody thought the way you're talking about right now, well, fuck it, there's no God, just go kill everybody, we will be a distinct species tomorrow.
So there's some kind of thing that holds us together from killing each other.
I don't know why you keep going with it. What, Travis? Why do you keep asking that? Like, I'm starting to become alarmed that you keep asking that.
Well, here's why I'm asking you this, is because I'm trying to figure out, does dogs love? Did dogs develop the ability to love
I don't
in their evolution?
That's irrelevant to this conversation.
Well, we evolved to love one another for some reason. There was some benefit of us loving each other, but that seems like intelligent design to me, doesn't it?
What I don't know your point. I don't know your point.
The point is if there's two cells that rub together and it made humans this complex species, then love serves no purpose.
That's your opinion, right?
Well, prove to me that I'm wrong.
Well, that's what I'm saying. You came into this I didn't come here to convince you of anything.
Right?
You keep have I ever demanded evidence from you? No. You asked me a question. I said, if you can provide me evidence, then this. But we in this conversation now, about 45 minutes, we've been talking. Not one time have I demanded or asked for anything like that. So you came into this conversation wanting that.
People have demonstrated unconditional love to me, even though they shouldn't have done that. Why would they do that?
Because they care about you.
But I don't understand why they would care about me, because I'm a piece of shit human being that nobody should care about me.
So to I'm going to try to draw a parallel here. Maybe it'll help you connect something here. I don't even know. Just because you don't understand something or you don't get it, does that mean there is no validity to it?
I get it, right? There is nobody that is going to come and say, listen, well, because of these things, these facts, you're not going to convince me with facts that I'm wrong, right? Just like I can't cite scripture that's going to convince you that I'm right or wrong or whatever. I can't do that, right? It's not going to work.
You keep okay. I want to say this one more time, and please don't make me say this again. I'm not asking you to convince me of anything, and I'm not here to convince you of anything. At this point in the conversation, and like I said at the top, and now this is probably the third or fourth time I've said this, I tentatively accepted your apology, but now I'm seeing a repeat pattern of where this conversation goes with you, and it's completely illogical. And why I say it's illogical at this point, it doesn't even have to do with the God, right? I think this is Travis. You got to get out of your own way. You have to get out of your own way. And if you're actually, like you said at the top when you're playing the humble card, if you're actually looking in the fucking mirror and you're wanting to get better, this has nothing to do with where love comes from or where this comes from or where that comes from. This has 100% to do with you dealing with you.
So here's what I believe is I believe that something, whatever you want to call it, I'll call it God. God has came for me. All right. I'm a lost sheep. Okay. I've been living a long time lost, and I've not had the right structure in my life. And when I went to church, I found the reason to do the things that I'm currently doing, which is
then what's the reason?
Because I want to be better.
Why?
And because I believe that.
Why?
Because I believe God's real. And
you see how problematic this is?
No, it's not problematic, because if it wasn't for God bringing people into my life, I would just be the same piece of shit. Now I'm the piece of shit that realizes that I need to not be a piece of shit, and so I'm working on myself.
So you've met however many people, we'll say a handful of people,
yeah,
that are supposedly helping you, and that therefore means God's doing something in your life. Again, this is irrational, dude. Like this is so irrational.
It's not really that irrational. And here's the thing is but what's irrational is that you believe that there's no God, but yet you believe in the concept of love. And what I'm telling you is that I kind of think that love's a little bit bullshit, but I think that God is love. And so the fact that you and I love each other, and I think that we show each other love in unconditional ways, that is the demonstrated evidence that there is a God. Because if there isn't a God, we might as well just kill each other. It's very simple.
Okay. And so, like I said earlier, Travis, The fact that you keep bringing that up, I said this several minutes ago. I'm becoming more and more alarmed that's what you keep going to, because like now now it's starting to sound like either like some like cult shit, or that you are literally like you literally need to go see a professional, and you're out of your mind, bro. Because the fact that you keep going to I should just kill everybody if God's not real. Do you understand how big of a leap in logic that is?
If you don't believe in it, why? This is what I'm saying.
You're not answering. You have yet to directly answer my question. And I think it's for a reason. I think it's for a reason. You don't want to answer the question, and you, as much as you want to keep telling me that you want to look in the mirror, you're not fucking looking in the mirror.
I've looked in the mirror, and I've seen a bad dude that needs help, and I've seen that through.
So go get help, Travis.
I have been. I've opened my heart up to God, and I have let people into my life that demonstrate unconditional love for me, and that is showing me that there is a point to everything that we're doing here.
Travis, I'm gonna tell you right now that is not help, and that is one of the biggest disservices that religion, especially Christianity, does to two people, is they say, well, God is the answer to everything. No, he is not. He is not. And the one thing I will give love and respect and appreciation to my brother 2 and 4 as a Christian pastor is he tells people that no, you can be a Christian all day long. You still need to go see a therapist. You still need to talk to a professional. Point blank, period. So to try to just write it off, Travis, is, well, I'm doing this and doing this because now I have God in my life. It's not going to fix either the neurological or psychological things that are going on. Period, bro. I'm
it's a lack of love.
Okay, bro. At this point, I don't know. I don't know what else to say to you, because I don't think you're listening. I don't. As much as you said that you were trying to, and that you're wanting to get better, you're talking to somebody that, yes, was a former Christian for 30 years. I did years of therapy because of the childhood I had and all the other fucked up shit that happened in my life, and I did the hard work, bro. So you're not gonna sit here and bullshit me, and you're not gonna give me a bunch of runaround and me just, oh, okay, Travis, because you said it, it's true. No, either you're going to do the fucking hard work because you do want to do better and be better. And even if that's because you want to feel better about you and you want to be a happier individual for you, or you don't, bro. And if you don't, then it's the end of the conversation, because I don't really give a fuck whether you believe in God or not. It's are you continuing to do the stupid shit, right? And there's plenty of non-believers that I call out on bullshit. I don't give a fuck if you believe in a God or not. If you don't want to do the fucking work, then there's no conversation to be had.
So I've chosen to give up alcohol. I've chosen to give up drugs. And you're saying that the reason that I gave those up isn't valid.
Never said that.
Okay, well, because I have decided, I've made a decision that I'm going to follow God. One of the things that I've decided is that I'm not going to use drugs and alcohol anymore because I don't want to be in an altered state. Okay. So because of my belief in God, it has motivated me to get sober. So you're saying that basically, I got sober because of my own self. Yes, that's partially true, but because I put in the work, but also it's because of the fact that I am trying to aspire to become more like what God wants me to be, right?
Okay, so Travis, here to keep this on point, and I referenced this earlier, and when we're done with this conversation, you can Google it and study it. If you're actually interested in learning, Travis, if you want to be informed and not just take things on faith and hope, but actually review facts, there are studies. Plenty of studies that the religious experience, the belief in God, that hope, that faith that you're talking about, you're clinging on to, holding on to. There are studies where they examined the human brain, and that religious experience, that God belief, triggers the same dopamine area of the brain that drugs and alcohol do. So yes,
So it's just like I'm just like imagining it, and it's like giving me a dopamine hit kind of thing.
correct.
Mm.
And
How do the people come into my life?
you walk
Magic.
down the street, you walk in a building. I mean, the same way, Travis, the same way I meet people, bro. I walk into a building, I walk down the street, I say hi. We meet people almost every day. Like what
Mhm.
again, what does that have to
Mhm.
do with anything?
Mhm. So I meet somebody at just the right time, at just the right moment in my life, and I literally have asked for certain people to come into my life, and like just like instantly they magically appear. So that's just coincidence.
Yes.
Crazy. I just moved to Fort Wayne on coincidence.
Sure. That's what I'm saying. But this, again, Travis, this has nothing to do with what we're talking about, though.
It actually has everything to do with what you're talking about, because
But
you're saying that God doesn't exist because it's just a fallacy in my mind. But what I'm
Travis,
telling you that you don't understand is God brought me to this exact
hold on,
spot.
Travis, stop. I'm not gonna, again, and I'm gonna start getting shitty, dude. Don't put fucking words in my mouth. I never said that shit. All right. So if we're gonna keep this conversation going, if not, I'll cut it the fuck off, bro. Do not put fucking words in my mouth. Okay. I did not come here. I never asked you to demonstrate anything to me. And I've told you now probably 8 times, I'm not here to try to deconvert or talk you out of Christianity. You keep going there because you don't want to talk about that actual bullshit, which is you keep saying stupid fucking shit. Right? And I'm here. And if you actually do have real friends in your life, here, I'll keep it all the way 100 for you. I'll keep it a buck for you. If you had real fucking friends in your life, they would be Christian or not, they'd be telling you if these are actually the issues or at hand, and you don't even know what love is. You don't even know if you love your wife. You don't know if you love anybody. You can't attach yourself to your own feelings and emotions. If you had a real fucking friend in your life, here, I'll be the real fucking friend. Go talk to somebody. Talk to a professional. There's a fucking real friend.
Like 10 years ago, I was driving past Fort Wayne, and I drove past Sweetwater, and I decided I was going to come move to Fort Wayne because Sweetwater was here. Okay. I called Margot and I said, we're moving to Fort Wayne. And I moved to Fort Wayne, and I lived here for, I don't know, 5-6 years. And the person that I ran into that sells real estate brought me to the brokerage that I worked at. And the person that I met at that brokerage spent the last 2 years mentoring me and supporting me and helping me and doing things that they've done for me, right? And they've done so. They're a Christian person, and they've done so with unconditional love for me. And so what I'm saying is that I believe that divine intervention brought me to this exact moment right now, and God brought me here right now because he wanted me to get the help that I so desperately need. And I need to see a professional, and I need to see a pastor, and I need to unpack lots of different things about me. And what I'm trying to demonstrate to you is that I want to make changes because I believe that in God, and I believe that God wants me to do these things. Now, if you say that there is no God and that I shouldn't, those things, whatever, I shouldn't do them, I've made this decision because of my faith. There's a very clear line between those decisions that I made.
You're not listening to me. You are not listening. So one of the best things that we can do, okay, you're in sales, right?
Yep.
Okay. I spent all of my professional life in sales. Travis, what is the number one key in being a great salesperson?
You gotta solve your client's problem.
Bullshit. You better know how to fucking listen.
I don't do very good with listening. If you haven't figured that out yet,
and that's probably why you may be decent, right? I don't know. I don't say your income. You may be decent. You may be okay. If you learn how to fucking listen, you'd be an amazing salesperson, right?
I usually tell people what to do.
And exactly. See, thank you. You see, you keep telling on yourself, Travis. So quit trying to turn this onto me about God, no God, because that's not what the fuck this is actually about.
Well, here's the situation again. I am going to go back
here's
to
the
this.
situation.
If
Here-
there is no
this-
God, then I might as well be a
Travis,
piece of shit.
Travis, no, you keep interjecting that because you want to use that excuse. Okay. So again, I told you, and you know this about me for the handful of events we work together. I don't do bullshit. I don't do nonsense. Here's what I'm listening to right now. I feel like I'm listening to a child try to make excuses to someone about why they keep doing dumb shit and trying to put it under the rug, right? And hey, let's pretend I'm not doing this and let's distract with this other shit, right? And but don't forget about this and don't forget about that without actually addressing the issue at hand. So quit. Have you noticed you're the only one that keeps bringing God back in this equation?
Well, I'm trying to change.
Okay. But what I'm saying is, before we even talk about the religion, there are very practical, simple things you can do to change. You can have, Travis, listen to me loud and clear. You can have your God. You can have your religion. You can have your faith. You can have your belief. Have it. I'm not here to take that from you. That's not even why we're having this conversation. You're the one that keeps doing that. What I'm trying to say is do the things, make the steps, make the decisions. If you're actually wanting to do better and be better, to do it. If you want to do it spiritually, whatever.
That's been my motivation, and that's kind of what I'm saying to you is that that's what's pushing me.
But you still have to take practical steps and realistic steps to do it, because here's what I'm really think I'm hearing from you is I'm going to try a little bit and I'll kind of do my best and then God will do the rest, right? And that's flaw number one of a Christian, and that is so fucking lazy.
I've been putting in the work, and I've been reading.
You know, and I'm gonna keep stopping you because you've already told us that you're not doing the work. All you're doing is going to church.
Well, I've quit drinking and I've quit alcohol. I mean, I quit drinking and I've quit drugs. So that's work, I imagine.
Okay, so okay, I'm not going to take that from you. So congratulations, and that's awesome, and I hope you stay on that path. So I will give you credit for that work. But how do you sustain that, right? Because if you are truly an addict, that thing doesn't go away, right? So what are you doing? What are the practical, real life things that you're doing to make sure that you solidify that?
Well, my desire is to help other people. And so that's what I work on right now. That's what I'm doing. You're most equipped to help those that you once were.
Okay. Travis, until you figure you out, bro, you ain't helping not a goddamn person.
Well, it would be very weird if I was like an alcohol and drug counselor, but I was using alcohol and drugs, right?
Sure, but
it'd be weird if I was a pastor and I did that stuff, right?
There's plenty of pastors that do.
Yes, but I would not want to do that.
And again, I know this is your first time like having a like actual in-depth conversation with me like this. I do listen and I do pay attention, and there's certain flags and triggers that I see or hear and I hold on to, and we just keep talking about, not like, why are we talking about pastors now? Like, why are we?
No, because God's put it in my heart that I want to be a pastor.
Oh, amazing, awesome, whatever. Again, I'm not here to take any of that from you. The issue still remains. No, if because I can tell you right now, I have a brother that pastors one of the larger, if not largest, churches in Fort Wayne. I can tell you, he don't say the dumb shit that you say, and he doesn't treat people the way you treat them. You ain't gonna get nobody to fucking follow you.
See, this is why I had to work on me. Is that the
But
thing
you're
about
not.
it is
What?
what?
Other than stopping drinking, and again, I will give you credit for that. That's reality. And like I said, congratulations. Stop there. But you're not seeking help, bro. Like you're not doing. Even my brother. Do you know how many years of therapy he had to go through based on our childhood and the things that he had happen to him for him to be healthy enough to go and do what he does?
We're working on it every day, and it's been just about short of a year for me right now. I think it was like about a year ago where I got rebaptized, and so I've been working on this process for like about a year. And to your point, definitely professional help is definitely necessary. And I was able to quit the alcohol and drinking without necessarily getting professional help. And I prayed about it, right? I prayed that God would give me the strength to quit drinking and give up drugs, and he has helped me with that. Now, if I say, well, that was just my own willpower, I've tried to quit before, and I'm pretty addicted to stuff. And I mean, it's a struggle every day. And I probably need to be on ADHD medicine. I probably have unmedicated ADHD, which is probably creating some of these problems that I have. But
Travis, that's so. First of all, for the first time now in an hour and a half, you finally said something that made sense. Okay, you said, yes, I probably need to go talk to a professional. Yes, sir, you do. And I mean that with every fiber of my being. Yes, you need to do that. And you're probably 100% correct that you have undiagnosed, untreated things there that you need to address for you to make you feel better, to make you happier. And I'll be completely transparent with you right now, Travis. I don't remember what year it was. It was a minute ago, but here's what happened to me. I went my entire life being told and believing, indoctrinated into the thought that God was going to fix all my problems, right? And I only say that to build up to this part of the story because it's actually irrelevant. But I was made to believe that if I prayed enough and I believed enough that these things would heal themselves or get better, right? And I lived that for 32, 34 years, whatever it was of my life. I finally had a complete mental breakdown. Like 2 or 3 days straight for no reason. Like I don't even know why. Sobbing, and it was uncontrollable, and I couldn't stop. I was admitted to a psych ward. It was the best thing that ever happened to me. Why? Because it was the first time I got to talk to professionals. And when they started to help me to understand what was going on inside this gray matter, and then they gave me the medicine to help to whether again, you don't eliminate, but to minimize or help to control the effects. It was the best thing that ever happened to me, Travis. And I would say that even if I were still a believer, and the Oz that all of you know today is vastly different as far as my day-to-day emotional level, right, and mental level, where I'm way more consistent. I don't have the ups and downs. I don't just make these rash decisions that end up kicking me in the ass. Right. It was the best thing I ever did, bro. So that's what I'm telling you. Like, again, I'm not trying to take your God away from you. I'm not trying to take your faith, or you want to be a pastor. Do whatever you want. What I'm challenging you to do as a human that does care about other people is go do that thing. Go do that thing, Travis, because you might walk in there, and I'm not saying a psych ward, but you can go into a psychologist, a psychiatrist's office and end up getting a medication or two that changes your life, bro. That absolutely changes your life. Why not give that a chance? If you're willing to give God a chance, why would you not give medicine that chance?
I'm absolutely open to that. And I appreciate you really sharing that story with me, because I think part of the reason why I apologize to you is because I made a lot of assumptions about you. And I didn't know anything about you. I had no idea before I inserted my foot into my mouth, as you said before, which was definitely not the right thing to do. And I'm going to re-apologize for doing that, because I I've been very excited. I guess we'll call it excited over the last year. And you've probably seen me. I've had a lot of joy in my life, and I've had a lot of love in my life that I did not have before. And it's been helping me. It's helping to open me up. And to your point, you're definitely right. God's not enough. Sometimes we need medicine, and Travis probably needs medicine. But I am absolutely open to trying to work on whatever I need to work on, because I definitely don't want to go back to the drugs and alcohol. I don't, I don't. I, this is why it's hard to give up that stuff, is because I know that it's really easy. You know, it's really really easy to just go back and do that, and then it makes all the other bad stuff that I do seem a lot easier to, because in my mind, I've convinced myself of this, that, I'll just drink and then all my problems go away, until tomorrow morning when I wake back up and the problems are back there again. But it's easier to just mask all the pain than deal with it.
Correct. And that's what I was saying earlier, as far, so if you do have, well, before I even say that, I'll say right now, I have an extreme addictive personality, right? My therapists have told me that, my doctors have told me that. So I know there's certain things that I have to stay away from, right? And like for me, again, and yes, there is a lot. There is a lot that you don't know about me. Another thing I'll share with you, Travis, is for years, I had an 8-ball a day coke habit. You want to talk about something that's tough's not even the word for it. Damn near impossible to do. I did it cold turkey. Now
Wow.
I had two great friends that once we get to that point, they locked me in a bedroom and wouldn't let me out, until I went through the withdrawals and did all that. But I did that. And they just made sure the door stayed locked. But it's like those things are valid, dude. Those are valid. And the only reason I'm gonna mention God here is, again, because there are studies and there's statistics behind this. Well, no, I won't even bring God into it. Screw that. It's the same thing. There are people that I don't think that's the right parallel, but they will run to other things, I've known of people that have quit drinking or whatever addictive substance they're on. They replace that with let's say going to the gym and working out, right? And but they're not doing it like a regular person would do, normal person. They're not going 1, 2, 3 times a week. They're in there 7 days a week, right? And why? Because now they've replaced one addiction with another.
Sure.
And instead of actually addressing the addiction, they're now hiding it with something that appears to be more healthy, right? Which is not the case at all. Like even that, you can overwork your body. You could still damage your body. You could still do bad things to your body, going this is 7 days a week, busting your ass and not giving your body a break, right? So the reason I say that is, yes, again, do what you want to do, what you believe that you want to do. What I'm challenging you to do is don't fail to address the actual human part of you.
That's
and-
very fair.
And that's what even what started this whole thing in the Facebook post is I was not in saying what I said. And again, you didn't even know the context of how I made that post, right? And I'm not bringing that back up to regurgitate all that. But even in that was not a me looking for anything, right? But I now have learned what I need to do to address the human part of Oz, right? And sometimes I just need to, whether I say it out loud or I type it and I put my phone down and I walk away, I know what I have to do for the human part of me and to help get that shit off my chest, because if not, I bottle it up and then I get pissed and then I get irrational, right? But I've matured, I've done the hard work, going through therapy and doing all, and I know that that's not the healthy thing for me to do, is to bottle it up and pretend that it's not there.
Well, what I did, again, I 100% acknowledge that what I did was completely wrong, because I did not approach you from a place of love. And I honestly am saying this because I do care about you. And, we've discussed what is love and what is care. And, despite the things that I've said about those two things, I do believe that I care about people and I do want to help them. And it's probably a sickness that drives this interest in interjecting myself in other people's lives and putting myself where my opinion's not wanted. But it's a pretty common habit that I have. I'm going to say it's a repeating process. So there's acknowledgement if something's wrong with that mentality.
Okay, and so based on your last statement, and then the other hour and 15 minutes, hour and a half, whatever that we've been talking, the other thing I'm gonna say, and this has nothing to do with God or necessarily with the mental health component. Like, don't bullshit, bro. Like, don't bullshit, because I feel like I've got 3 layers of bullshit, right? Where it was, I apologize, but then there was all this static and all this nonsense, and then I apologize again, and to quote the Bible, let your yes be yes and a no be a no, right? Don't like don't.
Well, I didn't change your mind, right? I didn't make you instantly believe in God with what I said.
But see, that's that you keep going, but I never came into this conversation for that, Travis. How many times do I fucking have to say that? You keep doing that because that for whatever reason, that's a dance that you're depending on now. Because here's how I'm going to know. Here's how I'm going to know if you actually listen to anything that we fucking talked about tonight. Is a month or so from now, I'm gonna give you another invitation, and we're gonna figure out, since we have witnesses here to the conversation, we're gonna figure out if Travis was bullshitting, and we're gonna hold you accountable, because you said you want to go get the help, and you understand that even with me and the other non-believers that are listening, we're telling you, we're not trying to take shit from you when it comes to your God, your church, your anything. What we're asking you to do is do the realistic, simplistic steps on the human, for the human element, the human side of this. And we're going to find out real quick whether you're full of shit or you're actually going to do the damn thing.
Well, I'm here because I want to acknowledge what's happened, and I want to move forward, and I want to create a different outcome, right? So that's kind of why we're having this conversation. We spent an hour and 35 minutes about it, and I've been looking forward to having the conversation with you because I'm here to be held accountable. That's something that I'm open to doing, and I inserted foot in mouth, and it was not helpful. So my intention here is to, like I said, I've apologized a couple different times for doing that because it was not helpful, and I will change. Right? I'm not, it's very difficult for me to not want to insert my opinion into things. So I'm going to work on that and try to mind my own business, work myself. It's I have this problem. It's pretty common as an engineer that every problem that I see, I think I can fix. And I admittedly inserted myself into this situation because I thought I could help you, and clearly I haven't helped you in any way. I probably have hurt you in this situation, and so that was my intention, was to provide help, not hurt.
Well, for the record, you're not. If you think you're the first person that said unsolicited or provided unsolicited religious or God advice to me, or even told me that the only reason I don't believe in a God anymore is because I got hurt in church, which, if you notice, I just let that ride because that's one of them that pisses me off the most, because actually it has nothing to do with that at all.
Well, some people have that. I mean, I realistically felt like the church turned their back on me.
Right, but again, this pattern of you assuming that you know things about me, right? And that's been the issue for starting with the Facebook post, even throughout this conversation, is you assuming that you
From the
think,
minute I met you, I assumed I knew you.
well, and that's a you problem.
And I assumed very wrong, right? So I've ran afoul. This will be offense number 2, right? And assuming that I know somebody is not a good idea.
Yep, and especially Travis. Again, no nonsense, no bullshit. Not only is it ignorant and just flat out stupid on your part to assume that you know somebody just based on what you see and what you think that you perceive, but just in conversation with you, it is 100% reckless and foolish to assume anything about anyone when you haven't even figured you out, bro.
That's fair.
You haven't even figured you out, and you think you know shit about me, right?
That's absolutely fair.
And I would say that to you and anyone that is like highly irresponsible.
I think that, well, like I said, I said this before, but I've shared videos with you, right? Because in my mind, I was like, Oz is an atheist, and if I can share enough videos with him, I'll change his mind. I made a lot of assumptions. Until today, I had no idea that you had the history that you had, which, had I known that, I probably wouldn't have went there, right? I didn't even ask you. I mean, that's how much of an asshole I was. I didn't even ask you what you believed.
Yeah, and so the biggest thing, and you wouldn't know because you never asked me, right? And again, referring back to you being in sales, me being in sales, the most important thing is asking questions, listening, but asking questions and listening and seeking to understand, right? And you suck at that. You suck at that. You suck at listening. And I can't do anything to change that. You have to do the work to change that. And part of that is going through therapy, and for the ones again that know Chris, Chris, one of the biggest compliments that he gives me on a regular basis is he always says, I'm terrible. I overtalk people all the time. I'm always thinking about what I'm going to say next. He said, I absolutely respect and appreciate the fact that you genuinely sit and you listen and you want to understand where that person is coming from, whether you agree, don't agree, have no idea, whatever it is. And whether it's in sales or in life, dude, that is one of the most valuable assets that you can have as a person, is listening and seeking to understand where that person is coming from, instead of assuming that you know where they're coming from, or you assume that you know their lived experience. right? Because I have never and would never do that to you. I don't pretend to know you. I don't pretend to know your lived experience. I go based on only what I've heard from you, seen from you, and experienced with you. That's
For the
it.
most part, I've been pretty childish. I'd say for the time that you've known me, I've acted pretty childish.
I agree.
There's a lot of growing up to do. Yeah, it's probably, I don't know if it was probably a year ago or something like that. I went to a real estate conference and we had a person that was talking to us about this lack of emotion, lack of emotional empathy, and not really connecting with our clients on an emotional level. And, you know, I tell people all the time, I care about my customers. I want to connect with my customers, but I don't make myself emotionally available to my customers because I kind of wall everybody off. And I don't want anybody to know I have emotions. I've had to hide a lot of that. You know, as a guy, I've told myself, hey, look, I have one emotion. I'm just mad all the time. That's, you know, that's my facade. I started talking about this a couple weeks ago. I have very much a warrior personality. This is something that I've been unpacking this last couple of weeks is that I always want to go to war with everybody. Insert myself in things and pick a fight with somebody. And it's not really healthy. And what it is it's very egocentric. My ego has been driving the bus, trying to protect my hurt child. And it just doesn't win a lot of relationships. I think you said this with sales, right? I don't listen very much to my customers, and lots of people try to tell me stuff, and I'm not a great listener.
Well, even in that, and I said this, you know, at the top when you brought that up, again, as valid as your experience was growing up, and again, I don't know it, I'm not going to pretend to know it, but I'm gonna take you on your word that there was either abusive or harmful or hurtful, whatever it was, neglect, whatever it was. I'm not going to invalidate it. Okay. That said, what I am going to say is I could tell you briefly my story that I got the brakes beat off of me, you know, physically, was verbally, emotionally abused, and I can tell you it is not an excuse for me to mistreat people or to act like an idiot or talk like an idiot. And the minute we do that and we allow ourselves to do that, again, it's irresponsible, it's lazy, it's reckless, it's hurtful, and it makes it impossible for us as individuals to actually address the fucking issue at hand. And guess what? That's human nature, Travis. Human nature is the path of least resistance. What is that path when you don't want to deal with bullshit? Is you either blame prior experience or you blame other people because you don't want to actually look in the mirror and point. You may glance in the mirror, but you don't want to actually stare into that mirror and point and say, you know what? Yeah, all this shit was fucked up. And I wish this would have never happened to me. It should have never happened to me. I didn't deserve it. I didn't ask for it. All that's true. It's still not an excuse to keep perpetuating the problem. And only you can fix it. You got to do the hard work.
It is hard work. And I have to have a why. It helps me, right? I can't explain to you what the psychological thing that's working here, but something is motivating me, right? And to be honest with you, I mean, I've not necessarily faced a lot of consequences for the 20 years of bad behavior. The last 20 years, I've been able to pretty much do whatever I want without being held accountable for the bad things that I've done. And you do that for a long time.
Well, whether you have thought of this, realize this or not, Travis, there are possibly consequences that you're not even aware of. Like there could have been, 2, 3, 4, however many amazing people that were in your life or could have been in your life, but just based on initial interaction or them observing repeated and repetitive or habitual behavior, or the way they watched you treat someone or talk to someone, that you never even got to enjoy that friendship or enjoy that conversation or enjoy that working partnership or whatever. Why? Because you were so absorbed with you and saying and doing what you wanted to do that you completely missed the fact that you had an awesome fucking person right in front of you.
I start a lot of my relationships up by punching people right in the face.
You don't say. Unfortunately, this time you swung and you missed with me, because I'll call your shit out. He didn't physically do that. For the record, everybody here, he didn't physically do it, but preferably, I can't even say the word right now. Preferably, hypothetically, he did that. But with me, I just don't do that shit. I don't play it, and I can stand behind everything I'm saying because I've done the fucking hard work. Everything that I'm sharing and saying to you right now is a lived experience. It's real fucking life, and it's dealing with the bullshit. It's dealing with the trauma. It's dealing with the abuse, and addressing it, and doing the best I can to minimize the effects, like a grown fucking adult, and not making a billion sidesteps or dances or excuses for the way I act. Right, or the way I treat people, and that's the whole thing with this conversation. I didn't come in this really giving a fuck about the God, right? It was the brazen. You just want to jump in and assuming that you knew what answer I needed, whether it was Christianity or Islam or yoga or rocks and crystals, or that doesn't matter to me. It's the fact that you thought you had the answer for me, to me, and you didn't even fucking know me.
Oh man, I tell you, I definitely fucked that one, because it was, I came to pick a fight. I mean, if you can go back and read it and read it and read it again, and there ain't nothing that I said in there that's gonna warm your heart or move your anything. That was a fight.
Why do you think you got the fucking response you got?
I doubled down on it on the second response. It was not.
Yeah, and that's why I smoked. That's why I smoked your ass. Absolutely. And let me be clear. And so you've apologized 2, 3, 4 times. I'm not going to accept any apology until I see you do the work now, because you've demonstrated to me that it's nonsense. It's bullshit until you do the work, right? And so for me, I've done the work, and I'm not going to apologize for anything that I said on Facebook. First of all, because number one, I've screenshot it just in case Facebook ever goes down or it's not there. Nobody could say that this wasn't said. But my original response to you, I said, let me be very clear to you right now. The best thing for you to do is walk away from this conversation. I gave you the warning.
I thought I could help you. I thought I could come and help you.
And that's your problem. That's your problem. Is how can you fix me? You can't even fucking fix you, Travis.
If I just got you to believe in God, that would solve all your problems.
Yeah, because all your problems are solved, right?
I'm working on it.
But they're not.
Well,
they never will be. That's the thing. They're never all going to be solved, right? So that being said, I'm not going to apologize for anything that I said there, and I'm not going to apologize for a goddamn thing I said tonight. And
you don't have to. You don't owe me an apology for anything.
Oh, I know.
No, I came here to apologize to you, so you don't owe me an apology for anything. But you've been helpful to me, because again, I came into this conversation with an agenda, right? You know what my agenda was, I imagine.
I think it was obvious to me and everybody listening. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. And I failed at the agenda, right?
Which you're not the first, Travis. I've had Christians that hold doctorates in theology try to convince me, and we're still right here.
A man convinced against his will is of the same opinion still. Right?
Sure.
Well, if I convinced you of it and you weren't willing and you just said, yeah, sure, it's not going to prove anything. But what you said, is well, we were talking about God, right? How do I know? Is because otherwise, why would I do these things? I want to be a good person. That's a great thing, but why bother? I mean, this is a thought process that I still have. I still hold on to this. Is for a long time there's no consequences. The world's not out to punish the people that do bad in this world, right? The people that do the worst in this world are not punished typically for the bad things that they do. There's no consequences.
All right. So hold on one second. All right. Again, I'm not going to dive back into all that because you keep going to that. Like I've said probably 20 times now. I did not come into this. You like you already said, and if there's anything I appreciate other than you finally saying it and admitting it, that you need to go talk to a professional. That's the most important thing, and I can say that because I had to do that and I had to own that. But I didn't come into this with an agenda. You already admitted you did, right? So you don't have to keep bringing that up because even your consistency on the I don't know what love is. I don't know what caring is or why we should do it, but you believe God is love, but you also told me that you love and or care about me. So that's what I'm saying. There are so many inconsistencies there. That's why I'm saying when we ground it in the reality that we live in, that we share, that we're on YouTube talking to one another right now, address those things with a professional the same way we're talking about it right now. Keep your God, keep your faith. I don't give a shit about that. Do those things for you, and I'll follow up in like a month or so. We'll have another conversation, and you and I and the rest of the people that have been a part of this, listening to us go back and forth and talk. We're going to find out whether you're fucking full of shit and you actually, or sorry, that you're full of shit, or you actually want to do better. Sorry, you actually want to be better. Not only do you want to be better, you're actually going to do the work. You're going to do the hard work to get better and to do that and start that process. Because guess what? Talk is bullshit, bro. Words are bullshit. If you ain't going to put energy behind it, you're not going to put the work behind it. After we have that next conversation, if it's nope, ain't doing it, then you and I need to never have another conversation about any of this ever again, because you're wasting your time and I'm wasting mine because you're full of shit.
Well, I appreciate your time, Oz, and thank you for having me on. And you have been a great listener, and you've been giving me the opportunity to have a conversation with you, and I appreciate that.
Not a problem. And like I said, I'll send you invite. Like I said, I'll give you plenty of time. Give you a month or so. But to me, the what's the old saying? The proof's in the pudding. So we'll do that, and we'll see what's actually going down. And if you do, I'll throw I'll throw some more respect your way for doing that. And I will appreciate that, but time and effort will tell that story.
Well, I will always show up for you, so I will be here. I will see you in a month, bud.
Cool. All right, man. Have a good one.
You too.
All right, hold on. I got to refill my goddamn drink. Jen's over here knocking shit over. Thank you, Mike. For the most part was infuriating.
Two, it goes 1, 2, 3, fuck that. Get fucked up, 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 get fucked up.
I think. There we go. Oh God. I did choose violence. I almost broke my potted plant. Didn't break though. Good shit. I try to behave.
No, well, first of all, I want to say, I do want to give a shout out to y'all in the chat, because most of the time, like when I watch other channels and these conversations are happening, that we hear that kind of shit, it just goes all the way sideways in the chat, right? And I just want to say great job to you guys, and I appreciate you guys, because just like I was calling the bullshit for bullshit, you guys were doing that without doing the personal attacks and going sideways and all that shit. So I appreciate you for that. And if y'all know me, that's how I am. Until you take the personal shots, you want to go sideways, I don't do it. As soon as you do, I'll play the same fucking game. Yeah, so I do. So mad love to you guys in the chat. I appreciate that. There's that to you.
We did good.
What's up, Aunt Kathy?
Hi, Kathy.
Yeah, you missed an interesting one.
Yeah, we did good. Good job, team. Team chat.
Where do I want to start?
Well, Jason definitely wants to go back to the hood rat question. That was never resolved.
Well, he I did, now that you said that, I saw Jason's comment. It was probably one of the only things that I felt like he semi-addressed directly, and he said, well, it wasn't until you called me out on it that I went home and Googled it and realized it was fucked up what I said. So that was one of the only one. Now he didn't allow me to get into why it's fucked up, and went jump straight to God and Jesus and shit. But
yeah. And I wasn't surprised that he came into the conversation with an agenda, because most do.
Nope.
Best advice is that if he does come back in a month, which I'm sure he will, that he just comes back with wanting to just have a conversation and leave the agenda at home.
Yeah, at the end of the day, and yeah, I have no problem saying this, like, because I've been on streams with other people. Well, this is years ago now, when I was on these type of streams or conversations on a regular basis. Like, afterwards they're like they're afraid to keep talking after the conversation because they don't want to say shit, because it's like, well, they could still be listening. I don't give a fuck if you still listen, because I'm gonna say the same shit now that I said to him straight to his fucking goddamn face. and y'all know that, and now he knows that. So to me, that in retrospect, that's problem number one for him, and unfortunately for a lot of people.
Yeah,
is you make one of the biggest gambles, whether it's socially speaking or whatever, you make one of the biggest gambles when you think that you know someone, or you assume because of a conversation or two that you've had with me, that you guys should have figured out.
Indeed. We knew he was because
Yeah,
he's that type.
what I think I even said it last night. Like I saw the message come through that he asked me, what do I need to be there? And I told him, camera, mic, and your ass.
Brandon, you next. Show the fuck up. Anyway,
Brandon ain't ever showing up.
I know. I just put that out there.
He's a little anyway. See, he ain't here. Didn't show face. So see, I'm not gonna talk shit about him. I'm not. Now, had he been here and then left, I'd talk shit because I want to do it to your face first. And that's why I told both of them. Look, come say this shit to my fucking face. Don't hide behind your little fucking keyboards. Come say this shit to my goddamn face.
Too easy to do keyboard.
Yeah,
shit.
Everybody, the keyboard warriors, Twitter fingers. I don't play that shit. I do not play that shit. Yeah. So number one, the assumptions. Like mismute that bullshit. What is all of our parents or grandparents told us? What's assuming do? It makes an ass out of you. But in this one, not me.
Sure.
You make yourself look like an ass.
If I followed Jesus, talk, Jenna. If I followed people's assumptions about you many years ago when I first discovered you, I wouldn't be here.
True.
Look at me now.
I'd still be here though. for you.
Ooh.
So that and yes, I was 99%. Like I said, if I was a betting man, and see, being a skeptic, I don't walk in anything with 100% certainty, right? But if I were a betting man, I was like in the 90 percentile certain that was the direction that was going to go. Right? It's believe me because I believe. Right. And even though he admitted it, even though I don't read the Bible, I don't even know what the fuck it's talking about.
Shocker.
Yeah, which most Christians don't.
Right. That's your first problem, Christians.
Believe me because I believe. So you should believe because momentarily in my life it's helping me.
Right.
And again, being someone that not only is a former believer but formerly had a major addiction problem. You think I didn't spend? You think I just stumbled upon my current position because someone hurt my feelings in church?
Church hurt.
I got hurt in the church.
Now that's a trigger.
No, and the more I dug into it, like there's literal studies that show the brain on drugs and they show the brain on God. And it triggers the same part of the brain. And that's the thing. When you're in that, and I've been in his position, like if he's being honest, and I'll take him at his word, where addictions are present, and they are a struggle for him. It's easy. It's very easy for an addict to replace one thing for another, right? And the God drug is one of the easiest.
Oh yeah,
it's one of the easiest. Why? Because all you have to do is start going to church.
Right.
And guess what? Once you go and you get the love bombing, and you get, oh man, God loves you so much. That's love addictive. You so much.
Sure.
Yeah, it triggers all that, right?
It triggers all those addictive emotions and the highs and the powerful emotions where you're sobbing to a really good, powerful song that just speaks to you. It's all the same shit. It's just, free, more publicly favored, and more prevalent. And more accepted in society versus, smoking weed or snorting up coke.
Yeah. So those two, and then the glaring obvious, the glaring obvious, and why I gave him the the 1 month option, we'll see.
Mhm.
The most important thing is like, dude, and if you noticed, I never said you need to get help. I never said that, because I hate it when people say that or said that shit to me. You need to get help. I just, for me personally, I hate that term. You need to go talk to a professional.
Mhm.
There's nothing wrong. For me, again, I'm not saying anybody else has to think this way or feel this way. When I hear you need to go get help, it's so condescending to me, rather than being helpful
Mhm.
and trying to motivate someone or encourage someone to go do that. To me, it comes off that way, right?
Mhm.
So it's good. So hopefully he does go, and he makes appointments and he talks to professionals, because now that I've had that kind of a conversation with him, which I'd never had before, I just heard a bunch of ignorant, stupid shit before. Now, I'm not a professional, but being one that's bipolar 1, ADHD, yada. I got a rap sheet. I'm convinced that he needs to talk to a professional.
Mhm.
Again, I don't know what the diagnosis. I'm not going to diagnose him. I'm not a professional, but I'm
Right.
convinced that he does need to talk to someone. And I hope he does that, because it will. I think a lot of that uh, brain clutter
Yeah.
and all that confusion, right? And talk to like I felt like several times talking to him that there were those impending and racing thoughts where it's like, I don't know what to say next. And I'm just going to blurt words out, and his inability to actually listen.
Mhm. Mhm.
Yeah, I hope he does.
Absolutely. Yeah, because well, I forgot what I was going to say, but go on.
Um, yeah, I guess the last thing I'll say is, well, I guess two things. One, these conversations only further demonstrate to me that there probably is no God out there.
Yeah.
And like I shared with him, can I say it for certain? No. And just like you can't tell me for certain that there is a God.
Right.
And like I told him that, when it comes to, uh, or the origins of life. And there's some atheists that like literally get pissed the fuck off when they hear me say it. But I think it's arrogant for anyone to pretend to know or claim absolute truth or absolute facts on how we got here.
I mean, not theoretical physicists don't even do that. It's in their it's in their title. It's we base what we know on evidence now and what we've studied and measured in time itself, what we can theorize how life began, how the universe started and all that. It's all based on evidence-based theory, things that we've measured and see presently and what we can see, in space-time, like, because you can see backwards. I don't have to explain it. I'm not no fucking theorist, but anyway,
Yeah,
it's based on that.
in and I'm for the record, I'm not saying this to Jenna when I say this, because she just got done talking, but yeah, cool story, bro.
Yeah, I know.
And I mean that as far as his
Yeah.
art, like even going to Genesis 1, and and
Where it
again,
started.
he wouldn't know this, because that's probably the only verse he's read.
Mhm.
But do you know how many now biblical scholars, Christian scholars are investing less and less credibility into Genesis and Exodus. Like,
As they should.
do you know how many?
As they should.
And those are the people that study this book for a living.
Whereas you don't even open yours.
Yeah, and you threw up your paperback New King James
Looks
version.
real fresh.
That I could tell them pages. Them pages were crispy.
I felt like you just bought that yesterday.
He bought that. I don't know this.
We don't know, but
I'm
it
joking.
looks
He
fresh.
bought that shit just for tonight. I'm kidding. I don't know that. But yeah, it's those, and not just with him, but the conversations that I do have and have had with the not YouTube Christians, because we know how the YouTube Christians are.
Right. And I had to lay that out. And some people that came in late in the chat, like, keep in mind, this is not a YouTube Christian content creator at no sense of the level or word. It was just a regular guy, regular dude that
Regular
smuggler, acquaintances with Oz that they've worked a few times together. Yeah. Which makes it even better.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah. Because we all know that on
The usual.
the YouTube
Yeah.
Christians is just a big song and dance. I don't even think half of them are actually Christian. Which is why I stopped talking to them. I think they're all full of shit. Is it a trend right now that so many students come out agnostic, atheist? I don't know what the number is, but I could tell you that yes, that number has grown and is growing.
Shocker.
And that, yeah. Hey, show me a well-read Bible, I'll show you an atheist. I'm kidding. But yeah, there. So that and then just to and I'm saying this playfully and kind of joking, but maybe not really. Yeah, I think I did a really good job. Because I came into this wanting to internally. I was pissed the fuck off. I was pissed the fuck off on how he handled our prior conversation, and anyone that knows me, again, I'm very respectful. Try to be as respectful as possible and understanding as possible, and I do my best to not humiliate people. And you guys have heard me say that. There's very few times in going into this conversation, this is one of them, that I wanted to embarrass this motherfucker. I wanted to shit on him. And then as we started talking, I reminded myself, I can't ask for these conversations and for people to change. Or not change. I can't ask for these conversations and challenge people to want to be better, and not even change mind, right? Like as far as like their God belief or whatever, that comes later.
Yeah.
But I can't come into the conversation like that and just start shitting on people, and then expect them to receive any type of critique or any type of suggestion or advice or whatever, and them actually be engaged and want to do that. Right? It's at that point it's counterproductive, right? Well, Oz, you keep saying you want to have these conversations, you want to help people understand, you want to, you want to, and it's not even about common ground. Like I hear people say, trying to find common ground. I'm not trying to fucking find common ground with him. I'm trying to point out the absurdities, but do it in a way that challenges it and makes them fucking think.
Mm-hmm.
And just what's up, Betty? Yo yo yo. Sorry, that's Betty and I's proper greeting. Yo yo yo. Just like John the other night talking about the video that we shared.
Right.
Like those things. I want to be proud of those conversations. I want to be proud of that. And as soon as I started talking, I was hyped up, like ready, like I said, ready to shit on this dude and embarrass him. But then I was like, no, that's not you, Oz. That's not fucking, like, in my head. Like I was coaching myself through like the first 45 minutes. Like, don't shut up. Shut up. And you guys probably saw me a couple times turn around like,
Yeah. That was you trying to debrief and get back in it.
because I wanted to fucking pop off. And I was like, no, because that's not going to be productive. And then at the end of it, and again, well, the truth will come out in a month when I invite him back if he's actually going to do what he said he was going to do. And if he actually does go and schedule the appointments and wants to do the hard work, then guess what? I will do whatever I can to encourage him and help him.
As you should. As any decent human should. Faith or faithless.
Why? Because I don't need God to do that.
Exactly. And that was scary for me. That part where I finally realized, okay, now I'm concerned. And it was kind of at the mark where Maya was addressing it too. In the conversation where, okay, when he started to really ramble and jump from topic to question to question and different things and kind of trying to relate or combine two different topics in a same it was weird. It was weird. And I'm like, what the fuck are you trying to go? Like, okay. And then I started to think like, oh, okay, this is like the typical thing most Christians do when they want to, get those gotchas out of atheists. Like, oh, what is this? What is that? Well, where did we come from? All that stuff. What is love? I don't fucking know. Like, go Google it. Like those petty things. And then when it finally came to a head and starting to realize, oh, this is actually a personal issue for you that you're struggling with. Like, but that makes sense. Like you were saying, the most addictive thing that you can easily fall into for any person, especially someone coming off drugs, is religion.
Absolutely.
Naturally. Not saying that everyone does, but I mean, it's the easiest thing to do. So yeah, okay, yeah, you leaned on faith to help you through your own personal life struggles. And now you're trying to figure out what that all is without covering it or bottling it up with your addiction. So, okay, that makes sense. But now you have to strive to find what is going to sustain you, like you mentioned. But the scary part was, when you asked him more direct questions about, okay, well, how do you feel about your wife? Do you know you love your wife?
Oh, yeah.
That was like, oh no. Oh no.
But see,
Yeah.
sorry, you good.
And and not just wholly focus on his wife, but I mean, that's an important aspect because that's a partner that you share in life that you chose to marry. So the fact that you think, or his response was, I think I love her. That's a problem between you and her. And now you really need to kind of focus on, okay, what's the whole point? Like now it just sounds like you've added God to your life to find an excuse to make you feel things. Because all he would keep saying is, as a man, and this patriarchal world, my macho self only knows one emotion, and it's anger. No, you have other emotions too, sir. All human beings do. It's just a matter of fact of you acknowledging and accepting and wanting to see those emotions for yourself. But you're scared of that. You're clearly scared of that because you don't know what that will do to you. You don't know how other people react. You don't want to scare other people, the very little people that you already have close to you, including your wife, who may possibly think that she might love you too. And that's even more scary. So you both need to have a conversation. But besides all that, not covering all that up, you're just recovering all that up, all those unrecognized emotions with a God and saying, well, without God, and when it dove into all that other stuff, well, I might as well just kill everybody. That's when it grew more scary because now, being this macho guy with just only one emotion, which is anger, you are purposely not wanting to look at yourself and recognize all your other emotions and accepting that. Even if you just accepted to look at and focus on your anger, do that. Because then that breakthrough of what your anger is, what's that coming from, the source, and working out how to break free from that can open you up to your other emotions that you have, but you're not willing to see and use.
And it's so this is so first of all, yes, I concur.
I said a lot there.
With Travis, and notice finally at the end of it, because I wanted him to spew, right, and go. As much as I wanted to snap back so many times, the most important thing in those conversations again is allowing the other person to talk and listening, right? And I get that. I truly do. I get that, and that is it's one of the skills that I've adopted and that I'm proud of is that and I've not always been this way. I had to learn this, right? Is to listen and in my interactions with him previously, that I would understand why. What's up, Crystal? Babe, why you and anybody in the chat would, with that part, would be alarmed with that. 100%. If you remember, it wasn't too far after that I told him like stop bullshitting. Like don't bullshit, bro. Like you know me, and that's why you're here. Is I don't do bullshit,
Right?
Right. So stop, because here's one thing that I know about Travis, because not only have I had these conversations, but I've worked with him. This motherfucker knows all about his fifis. And he gets in his fifis. The problem is he doesn't want to admit.
Right. Yes.
He doesn't want to admit.
Okay.
That
you only know that. Obviously, yeah.
That he has his fifis, and he does feel it, and that's why that whole the only feeling or emotion that I have,
because I'm a man. That's what he said. As a man,
is anger. Now watch me flex like Hulk Hogan, and he, and we know this. He ain't the only dude,
right?
That talks and operates like that,
right?
That's not like that's not unique,
no,
to Travis, right? That's unfortunately how a lot of dudes are programmed.
Unfortunately,
is I'm not, if I show emotion or weak, even though I'm feeling the fifis, if I show it, I let people see it, then that means I'm not a man. So all you need to know is I'm angry and pissed off. Fuck you. Furthermore, and that's why motherfuckers like him, him and like him, you're not gonna fool me, bro. Again, I've done the hard work. I used to be that dude. I used to, man. I got to give this exterior where I'm bulletproof, man, and nothing fucking phases me. Nothing fucking phases me. Yeah, he even said it. I got this warrior mentality.
Yeah. Oh
Got this
God.
warrior.
They usually punch
mentality.
people in the face.
And guess what?
Yeah.
That motherfucker ain't ever punched nobody in the face. And yeah, that's like, again, if you know, you know. Real knows real, right? And yeah, well, I brought it at the very top of the conversation. I brought it up. We had these conversations. I already called you out on bullshit. Like I've already told him to his face, like in person, that he's full of shit, right? And yeah, I didn't buy none of the nonsense. Like from the rip. So when we get here and we're doing this and the apologies and the back and forth, when I finally got to hear him essentially vomit, right? Just vomit all over the place.
Right.
It told me more about not just who, but what I'm dealing with. And again, I'm not going to say anything here that I didn't say to his face. You sound like a child. You sound like a little kid.
Afraid to face the world.
That you know you done fucked up. You know you done said or did some stupid shit. But you're so immature. And you're so irresponsible that you can't face the facts. And what are the facts? And eventually I told, after he asked me several times, I finally told him, you're a piece of shit. And the only way you fix that is by working on you.
Right.
Is by working on you. And there's nothing wrong with that. And that's why I brought up my experience. Right. I had no plans, no idea that I was even going to go there in that conversation, but I felt like he needed to hear that from me. And that is just basically, well, because like him, well, I won't throw it. Well, I can give first names, but like him and Dan and Brian and the other guys that like DJ and work with us, like all of them think like there's two of them that thought I was from New York. One thought I was from Chicago, and like I was just like all just doing it like all this like I'm just this other person, right? And it was like, well, I mean, I did some stupid shit, but I'm not from any of those places, and I didn't do any of those things that you're talking about. No, I'm not affiliated.
Assumptions.
You know, and I had a point in bringing that up, and I just lost it.
Was it about assumptions?
Ish. God damn it.
I'm trying to think what you last said. Maybe it'll help. Shit. It'll come to you.
No, I don't think I'm getting that one back.
Well, fuck.
God damn it.
Sorry, baby.
I hate that shit.
Damn it. Well, overall, there's plenty I can say, and we'll probably talk more offline, but that was I think you did an excellent job in, someone said it earlier in the chat, corralling as much as possible.
Holy shit.
Because I'm saying, obviously, we sit across from each other. I'm sitting over here trying to not speak out loud or behave, and I'm just like, what the fuck?
On that point, do y'all on that?
You're a patient man.
Oh no, hold on that. Do y'all understand? Like, if you would talk to my doctor and my psychiatrist, like I have like a very like when I say ADHD, it's not just like, oh, I have ADHD. No, it's bad.
Mm-hmm.
It's bad. Do you know how difficult? Do you understand how fucking difficult that is for me? And even how many times I even had to say, like, it was wrecking my brain. I'm like, what are you talking about? Like, can you just said like 8 things in one sentence. What the fuck are you talking about? Yeah, yeah, that in and of itself, I couldn't believe I kept it on track, because I'm like,
To the best of your ability, yes. Yes.
you know, that whole squirrel. No,
Yeah.
there was a billion squirrels. I didn't know which one to watch.
Oh, yeah, that was, oh God, that was frustrating. That was frustrating as fuck.
Yeah,
Yeah, he really was. He was throwing a lot of shit at the wall.
well, in to kind of go back to what Jenna was saying a minute ago, this is what you get from non-YouTube Christians is they have their go-tos, right? They have the and again, that's the problem when you make assumptions, not knowing. Well, you know, I'm gonna bring up the word faith with
You don't know how many years he's been doing this shit. I laughed. I was like, oh
bro.
Lord, don't do that.
Listen,
That's a mistake.
For any Christian that wants to talk to me, you hear this now or later. There's two things you don't want to discuss with me, because I will wreck you. Faith and Isaac.
Oh God, please don't bring up Isaac.
Don't bring up faith. The word faith. Don't bring up Isaac, Abraham and Isaac. Just
Please
don't. I'm relentless.
I don't even want to go through that. I'm like, I'm gonna go lay down. I can't.
Don't.
It makes me tired.
Yeah.
Don't do it with this man, please.
And literally, I will systematically and with patience. Like, I actually those I do easily with patience. I will just for hours wreck you, because like, no, that's not what it says. That's not what it says. That's not faith. Why is this faith? Why would you believe that?
Yeah. Yeah, there's a lot there. There's a lot there.
What's up, John?
Hey, John. Hi, G-Pa.
Oh yeah, hey, that would every atheist go to wrecking ball. and then have the wrecking ball song in the background.
Oh,
I
God.
came in like a wrecking ball.
Of course. Of course.
That's all I know.
That's all I should know.
That's all I know of the song. God damn, I still can't remember what I was getting ready to say.
Well, great job.
Thank you.
Indeed. Yes. I'm happy the conversation was had. If I mean, if you want to call some of that a conversation. But yeah.
Oh, I remember.
There you go. Good job.
Biddy said mine would be law and human sacrifice. And Biddy, I remember the call-in shows you when see my embargoed doctorate didn't have anything to do with this, so I'm not as literate as you are in this. But when they tried to say, well, Old Testament, New Testament, New Testament, Old Testament. Like I remember on the calls, like you like Randy Savage off the top rope. Oh yeah. Oh wait, hold on, I have that.
Oh yeah, yeah.
That one. Shit, what?
See? I knew it. I knew it. You forgot again, didn't you?
Mm-hmm.
Yep. Thought so.
Oh, there he is. See, that one didn't go.
Stop getting distracted.
That one didn't go. It didn't take as long that time. She said, my person as far as it. Oh yeah, say it's all coming back. It's all coming back to me now. So I was talking about real knows real, right? That shit, and like I already knew he was full of shit, like from day one, right? And I already called him on his bullshit. And I sniffed that shit out. My personal favorite part was like I am not, and I do not owe you an apology. I said this, and this. And I don't owe you shit for that. And I'm not going to apologize for any fucking thing I said tonight. And he was like, no, you don't need to, I should be apologizing. Because and I didn't say it there, but not but that said, anybody that knows me, if I do fuck up or I say something or I miss something, whatever, like I'll be the first one to say, hey, that was me, my bad, fucked up, shouldn't have said that, shouldn't have done that, shouldn't have, whatever, right? So knowing that, I also have the confidence to no, I'm not apologizing to you. You were a piece of shit. And the what we were talking about earlier as far as the face to face, right? And my whole thing was like with him, and Brandon's never going to show the fuck up. So I know somebody asked that earlier. Brandon's never going to show the fuck up. He does not have the
cojones.
Yeah, he ain't got it in him. Yeah, as much as I would love it, that would actually that actually might be more entertaining than this one. But anyway, but yeah, his response was like, no, I don't. When he was like, well, no, you don't owe me an apology. I was like, fuck, I know. You're a fucking asshole. Yeah, I appreciate y'all hanging out, listening, and like I said earlier, I appreciate y'all in the chat that we're here for the conversation of calling out the nonsense, the bullshit, just like I was, but not taking the personal digs, the personal attacks, because I see that too many times on the YouTubes, and that's actually why I don't really engage and get involved in those anymore, because it's like at that point we're all acting like children.
Yeah,
we're all acting like children, right? And there's when it's banter, and I even said this to him, when it's banter, I have no problem with that. Like, let's have fun. We can be adults and go back and forth, talk shit. That's cool with me. but when it actually goes to like actual personal attacks and we're trying to humiliate, like I don't sign up for that shit.
Mhm.
I don't support that shit. I'm not with that shit. And even from my high school days till today, I bully bullies. So if I see you're here, you doing that shit, I'm gonna call your ass out. Even if you're an atheist, fuck you. That's why Mr. Mr. Matt Dillahunty and I don't get along.
Yeah.
Fucking bastard. Well, that said, anything else you want to say, babe?
Nope.
Go team.
Go team.
I always forget about that tattoo because I'm always wearing a watch.
The no God.
And it's one of my favorite tattoos. And I always forget about it because I always got a watch on.
Mm-hmm.
That motherfucker's badass.
It's pretty good. Not as good as that dollar sign on your thumb, but you know.
Yeah, the one that
you got fucked up one night.
almost got me putting fucking what you call it in jail? Yeah. They were about to segregate me for that fucking tattoo. Can you believe that shit? Oh, I think you're affiliated. That's a gang tattoo.
With money? Yeah.
That's a gang tattoo. I told the one bitch, I was fucking drunk one night and had my own tattoo gun and ink and tattooed that shit on my hand. The fuck out of here.
I remember you called me later that night, I think, or the next day. I don't fucking know.
Yeah. Oh, we talked the next day. I did it in the.
And you showed me.
Yeah. The downtown apartment that we ended up sharing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's hilarious.
Let me tell you how many gang members I was running around with back then.
Mm.
0.
No, brilliant job. Can't wait to follow up in a month.
Yep. Absolutely. And I'm gonna wrap this up. I'll share this briefly because I think once I wish. What are you going to bed soon?
I mean, I should, but meh.
Okay, but once she figures out what she's doing, let's say that. Once she,
I don't know.
I was going to share it the other night, and I wanted to DJ instead, so I DJ'd. But I stumbled upon.
Oh boy.
A young version of Mr. Peterson.
Oh no! Don't do that. No.
No,
I actually want to be a part of that.
Well, I'm not going to share like the entire stream.
Oh. We need to. No, sorry, you finished. I got excited. No. Go.
Well, this one I'm not going to forget. Go
ahead. You need to tell me who the guy is because I kept meaning to ask you, and I'm like, who the fuck did he talk to? Because I know it happened one of those nights where I was like asleep. But yeah.
I forget his name. So really quick, one of the nights we got done actually earlier than normal, and all I did was like once I reset the studio and sat down, I pulled up YouTube, and there was this random ass live stream that I'd never heard of the dude before, never seen the dude before, and I started listening, and I was like, this dude is literally what's his first name? Peterson.
Sorry. Shit, I don't know that
Something
black
Lee
motherfucker.
Lee Peterson.
Yeah.
God damn it.
Hold on.
Anyway, Jordan, thank you. Jordan Lee Peterson.
Jesus.
He's the young version. He's the young generation's version, and I ended up joining the stream because I couldn't believe the fucking crazy fucking shit that I was hearing.
I gotta see that.
Yeah, Jesse
Jordan.
Thank you.
Come on, Jason.
All the J's, Jason.
It was Jason Lee Peterson.
Jesse P. Leaderson. God damn it, you guys.
So close. Anyway.
So anyway, I ended up joining the stream because I was like, I was blown the fuck away
Yeah.
by what the fuck I was hearing this dude say. And then when I got on there, it got more stupid. And again, just like I did with this conversation, I did my best to keep my cool because I've now invited him onto my new channel. There is no gray, and
did he accept?
Jenna already knows this. I'm still waiting to hear back. He was going on vacation. I knew that.
Oh.
But he doesn't know. I'm 100% going to sabotage this shit. Jenna's going to be there, but I'm also going to be inviting Maya and Jay to be a part.
Fuck yeah, they are.
Because he, as crazy as it sounds, he is a black white supremacist. At the end of the day, that's what the fuck's going on. It's fucking bananas.
I gotta hear this shit.
It's fucking bananas. So I'm gonna end this stream, figure out what Babe is doing, and then yeah, we'll listen to some more bullshit.
Yay. Kanye Peterson. God damn it. That's his name.
Who said that?
Jason. It's Kanye Peterson.
Oh, that's fantastic.
God damn
it. What up, Yeezy? All right. We'll see all of you.
It's my game.